Hey, my name's Austin Rutherford, and I'm the results leader.
You're listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Being a thought leader is easy. Getting results is hard. This show is for the results leader who lives and dies by their results. Here is your host and Chief Results Leader, Jonathan Rivera.
Welcome back to another edition of ResultsLeader.fm. And today I have another special guest for you. But this guy is a friend. I met him at a very high level mastermind, and I was so impressed with him from the first time I met him because the dude's only in his 20s and he's already a multi-millionaire. Like, dude, how do you do it? So young, and he's already living the life, and he's inspired me. I watch this guy work. I watch him on social media. I try to learn from him. His name is Austin Rutherford, and he's an entrepreneur that has built a 7-figure per year real estate investing business. Dude already has $10 million of rentals. And you're going to find out in the interview, he's not even 30 years old yet. He's got a book, From Ballet to Millionaire, on Amazon. It was a bestseller. So after you hear this interview, I know you're going to want to pick up a copy. So let's jump in with Austin. You are witnessing ResultsLeader.fm live, and we're doing this for the first time live with a very special guest. And I've spoken to this guy before. I know that you are in for a treat. I've got Mr. Austin Rutherford. You may have heard him on the Daily Bread Project. He's an entrepreneur, 7-figure per year real estate investing business. When I met him, he was up on the stage pitching to get private money, I think. He was either teaching people to get private money or he was probably out there getting private money. But I watch this guy and I am constantly in awe of him. Super followed dude on TikTok, Instagram, all of this. I'm learning from this guy every day, and I'm stoked to bring him to you here on Results Leader. So let me now, I'm going to do my very best to bring Mr. Austin Rutherford on here, and I'm going to try to do it as smooth as possible here. So first things first is here. Let's see, there he is. Yo, what is up, my man?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Dude, I'm just glad I'm able to get you on here. I'm still trying to figure all this out. Last minute changes. Cool, man. So I did not prepare you for this, which is going to be fun. But the questions are always the same, and I know you're going to give us some insights. So, Austin, are you ready to do this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, brother, we're going to jump right in with a softball to give our listeners a quick win. What book or books have you given most as a gift?
Think and Grow Rich. It's the book that changed my life at 19 years old. Phenomenal book. It opened up my mind to the possibilities. You know, I thought the only way to be rich was like to be in the league or be a rapper. It's not the case. So, you know, business, you can make a lot of money. I just actually got done with another book a couple of weeks ago. It's called Emotional Intelligence. I value that a lot. I haven't given it as a gift yet, but I definitely will. So Think and Grow Rich and Emotional Intelligence.
So, okay, you said something interesting, and I hear this all the time. You didn't know that this other world was out there, and you thought you had to be a rapper or something like that to get rich. How do you hear about a book like this? It's Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yep. To be completely honest with you, I don't know. Like, basketball was literally my life at the time. The goal was to go to the NBA. And then I started hating the game. And so I felt like lost. Like I literally didn't know what to do. Sat in my room and cried a lot. And I wish I remembered, but I ended up reading the book, and then a light bulb lit. And then I read something else that said, 90% of people who file a tax return with $1 million or more on it had real estate in their portfolio. And I was just all in on real estate after that.
Yes, sir. The great equalizer. So let's go introspective here, Austin. How has an apparent failure set you up for later success?
Yeah, I mean, I think just talking about that losing the love for basketball, it set me up to another opportunity that I didn't know anything about. So losing basketball, which was my dream, which was my life, and then falling into real estate, which has since completely changed my life, has been huge for me. It's introduced me to the people that it's introduced me to you. It's introduced me to most of the people that I know nowadays by basketball not working out. I'm a big believer, like everything happens for a reason. So for whatever reason, that wasn't my destiny. Now I'm able to help and give back and change other people's lives through real estate now.
Man, so losing basketball led you down a different road, and I'm pretty sure you're happy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you on IG. I know you're happy. At least you look like it. So, man, tell me about this. I want to talk about investments, and what I'd like to know, in your opinion, what is the most worthwhile investment you've ever made?
Real estate, is what turned me into a multi-millionaire. I think going forward, though, that is already changing and will continue to change. Real estate's created the most millionaires of all time ever. Like you said, it's the equalizer of all dummies. Like anybody in this game can make millions of dollars as long as they put the right work in. But I think we're going to a world where technology and social media and things on the internet will create way more millionaires than real estate ever has. It just hasn't been around as often. So like I'm a big believer in tech. I'm a big believer in apps. I'm a big believer in crypto. So that is my belief of what I think is going to grow exponentially. And that's where I'm putting a lot of my money nowadays. But real estate got me to where I'm at. And it's been a tremendous platform. It's not going anywhere. So real estate's great, but I think it's going more tech and app into the future.
Tell me a little bit more about that, because we had this discussion down when we were in Key Largo, at least a little bit of it. How are you diversifying? What are some of the areas that you are into right now to diversify out of real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously got the real estate, and then I have an email marketing business, which is in essence a data company. It's just a collective of emails, and then we're sending out affiliate offers. So that's the data space. Like I said, I have a ton of money in crypto right now. It's probably one of the biggest investments I've ever made in my life. So a little nerve wracking, but it's been working out so far. So in crypto, and then I have an e-commerce business, again, online tech driven. We're doing pretty good numbers over there. And then kind of with tech, I believe that eyeballs, quote unquote, is the future currency. So building a brand, like you mentioned, I have almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. I got a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram. I got tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube. So I'm a big believer that eyeballs will be the future currency. Instead of Coca-Cola and big brands like that, putting their name on an NBA, Miami Heat basketball arena, I think that they will brand with influencers who have eyeballs, because they can influence people a lot faster and easier and immediately because they already have those relationships. Like we used to have to do. I never did this, but Coca-Cola, when they did data research and they wanted to know like what people liked, they had to like create a Word document, print them out, put boots on the ground, go out there and give people's feedback. Now you can literally post one message, hey, do you want this or this? And they vote. And within an hour, you already have your answer, which is kind of crazy. So I believe that, the future is eyeballs. Eyeballs is the future currency. So that's what I'm going, really heavy on as well.
That's one of the things I wrote down too when you were talking was eyeballs are the future. Something almost just like that. I drew an eyeball and I'm like, Austin said that.
I love it.
Oh man. So let's move on. And I think you've touched on this a little bit. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Yeah, so I've kind of been in like business for about 6 years now. And over the last 1 to 2 years, the thing that's changed my life the most is it really kind of ties down to a book called Who Not How. So I used to pride myself on working, 20 hours a day. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to outwork you. I'm the hardest worker. I put in the most time, the most hours. And like, I was prideful of that. There's nothing wrong with working. You have to work to get to a point in your life that you want to be. But once you're at that point, it's no longer like how much work you do or how do you figure something out. It's who can you bring in to figure that out for you? So time is the most valuable asset in the world. So for something simple. So I have like a webinar that drives people to a sales funnel. So I'm in the process. This morning I woke up. I was like, all right, I have to rebuild this whole thing, which I got to learn a whole nother system. I got to go and talk to support. I got to do a whole bunch of things, or I can make a phone call and pay somebody a couple $100s to go in there and make the changes that I need, and I don't have to worry about it at all. So, so over the last, like I said, year or two, the big change that I've been making is who, not how. So it's finding the who to do the how rather than me trying to figure out how to do everything. It's just having the right team members on your side that can get things done quicker.
Yeah, man. And that is the great Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach, Who Not How. He's been pounding that into our ears forever. And it doesn't matter, dude. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you hear it. You still try to, you still get down there and try to do all that stuff yourself for some reason. I don't know, man. I do that all the time. And I'm like, wait a minute. There's people that are much better at all of this than me, but I can't help but get myself involved sometimes, man.
No, but like, that's what we're taught. Like, we're literally taught to just do it. Like, us do it. That's how I grew up over 27 years. So it's something you literally have to think about like all the time to not jump in and do it, because you're training that muscle, you're training your team members, you're training everybody to just come to you. So like, you have to purposely like think about not doing something. One of my goals is I have it written on my weekly thing, is to one day a week not know anything. So if any of my team members come up like, yo, how do I do? I have no idea. So it's forcing that muscle for them to start thinking for themselves and not you all the time.
We got to talk about that, because that's a tough one, right? The knowing I don't know anything. And so when I do that here, because I happen to work with my wife, she gets hostile, right? She gets mad at me. And so I'm wondering how your team handles that and how you deal with implementing it without having an argument with people.
So luckily I don't work with my wife, but I just told them, I just told my team, like, I need solutions. I don't need problems. So I was like, if you come to me, my first answer is going to be, you tell me, hey man, this just happened. All right, cool. What do you think? What are your thoughts? So it's telling them ahead of time, so they, they're not caught off guard by it. And then giving them the ability to make decisions. Like, people on my team have made decisions before that I knew they were making that I knew would cost money. We would lose money with that decision. I'm not talking like $1 million. Like, I wouldn't let that decision go through. But like, if it's 10, 20, 50, $100, like, they'll learn, because when they make a mistake and they lose money, like it sets in differently. So, telling my team ahead of time and allowing them to make decisions and learn from themselves sometimes.
How do you set that threshold? Because I've read different ways to do it, but how do you set your threshold? You can make a decision up to this point, 200, 1,000, 5,000. Where's the line on that, and how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for every business. Like, for my rental portfolio, I don't even remember what it is. I think it's like 500 or $1,000 or something. And honestly, like, I really don't care, because if they call me and the furnace is broken and it's a $2,000 furnace and they call me, I'm not going to be like, no, let's not replace the furnace. The tenants don't need heat. So it doesn't need, the question doesn't even need to be asked. Set the expectation, like, hey, keep everything until it physically doesn't work, and then do whatever you need to do. So, I think it's different on everything. I probably, like, in my real estate business, it'd probably be like a few $1,000s for a simple decision. Again, I'm not trying to lose $50,000 or $100,000, but like, if somebody forgets to turn the utility bill on and, we get billed $150 back charge, like, I'm fine with that, because then they're not going to forget the next time. So it's definitely a balancing act.
Yeah. I what I've tried to do is I trust whatever you decide. I trust you. And then when stuff hits the fan, I'm like, what? No, I'm just messing around. Let's talk about bad recommendations. What are some bad recommendations you hear in your area of expertise?
Oh man. This can go everything. This can go from business to life to relationships, to all those things. But is it something I love saying, like, normal? People always say that, like, well, that's not normal. And you create what normal is in your life. So, like, to Jeff Bezos, guess what? Flying on a jet, taking a private yacht, and having a driver 24/7, 365 is completely normal in his life. But if I were to go to tell somebody like, yo, I'm buying a jet, they're like, oh, that's not normal. It's not that. What do you mean? How are you doing that? You create what normal is in your own life. So one of the things I hate the most is when people are like, oh, well, that's not normal. Or, oh, people don't normally do it. Okay, cool. Like, forget them. I'm doing me and I'm living life how I want to live it. But some of the things like that, specifically in real estate that people say, they're like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. The thing in real estate is you never know why somebody's doing something. So especially like with buying a house, they may have a lower interest rate. They may have, they may be getting evicted. They may be, their lease might be coming up to an end and they have to move into a house. They may be moving money through a 1031 exchange. They may be selling a property because their CPA said they have to sell it before the end of the year. So just because it doesn't work for you, which was a big lesson that I had to learn in the beginning, because I passed up on a lot of money because it didn't work for me, but it worked for a ton of other people. So I could just pass along that opportunity to somebody else and get paid on it. So one of the biggest things in real estate that I've learned, like I said, is to not make a decision for somebody else because everybody's reasonings are different. Another thing is like, you're too young, you're too inexperienced, you don't have any money. All those things are reasons that people say they can't get into real estate. Oh, I'm only 19. Oh, I'm not rich. Oh, well, I don't have any money. Those are all excuses at the end of the day. I got into the business with no money, using other people's money with no experience, no credit. I was 20 years old. So, it doesn't matter. Old, young, rich, poor, you can get into real estate with anything. So those are some of the things that, people have said that are not true. And they're proven time and time again by the people who go out there and actually put the work in it and believe in themselves.
Yes, indeed. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes here. All right, I know you were getting into that, and we were just about to get into my favorite part where we talk about results. But first, I want to ask you a question. Are you picking up what we're laying down on this show? Are you digging what we are sharing? If you are, why not make yourself a hero today and share this with somebody who can use it? Put this out on your social media channels. #ResultsLeaderFM. I'll be out there looking for you, and I'll make sure to boost it up too when I see you. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump back into the interview. So first question is, why do results matter?
That's the only thing that matters. There's nothing else to it. You can work 100 hours a day or 24 hours a day, whatever you want to do. But if results aren't there, you're obviously not doing the right things. So results are literally everything. If you're not driven by results, like there's no point in us, doing business together. Because results that's business. You got to perform.
I think that's a quotable right there. Results are business. Yes. All right. So in the last 5 years, what new realization has helped you get better results for you, for your clients, for your team, anyone around you?
So something specifically in the real estate industry, I always used to think like we had to go and meet the seller in person. So there's only so many meetings that you can have in a day because you got to drive there, you got to meet with them, you have to drive away. So it's time restricted. So something that we started doing probably 2 years ago, we make offers over the phone. So we put properties in contract over the phone. So we no longer have to drive the properties. Now we will drive the properties if the seller wants us to be there, whatever it is. But being able to do it virtually has been able to allow us to do more deals in less time because we're not wasting an hour, 2 hours a day driving to one appointment. So that was one really big, and I fought it for years and years. I was like, no, you have to be in person. You have to be in person. And then finally I'm like, all right, I think it was winter. And I went to look at a house and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing the snow again. So our business went 100% to virtual, making offers over the phone. And that's allowed us to scale and make a lot more money in a lot less time.
That's one of those you can't do that things. You can't do that. What do you mean you can do that? No way. So Austin, tell me this. What area of your business would you like better results?
It's always the sales side. Sales is the very high results side of things. So just being more consistent, making more calls, converting more on the phone, call to deal ratio, instead of if somebody can do 100 calls to one deal and somebody can do 1,000 calls to one deal, somebody's 10 times the performance of the other one simply because they can convert more on the phone. So one of the best skills in any industry across the world is sales. If you can sell anything, you can build relationships, and you can talk to people. If you can sell somebody on something, it's one of the highest paid industries in the world. And I think it will be the highest paid ever. That sales and marketing are the two biggest. But if you can sell, it's game over. So something that I would like to see is the call to deal ratio go down, because that means we're making more money in less time.
Yeah, man, higher conversions. So what results are you most proud of?
Man, I've never been asked that question. What results am I most proud of? So let's take it back to the why. So my why to get started in business was to make money. I wanted the nice things, the nice vacations, the Rolexes, the cars, all that stuff. And then I got those things. And I'm like, money's not enough. That doesn't do anything. So at the time, I was proud of having a lot of money, a lot of nice things. But since then, it's changed a lot. I don't wear, I got a gold chain. I don't really wear that much. I used to never take my Rolex off. Now I'll forget it at home, not even think twice about it. So it changed from having money to helping people. Part of my why right now is giving back to my family and changing other people's lives. Those are the two whys right now. So every single day I get hundreds of messages on my phone from people asking questions, sending me deals, and telling me yo, I've been following you for 3 months. I just did my first deal. I made 10 grand and I was able to retire my mother. I was able to pay off my debt, or you changed my life. So those are the results I'm most happy about now is helping other people change their lives and fulfill their potential.
Yeah, that goes back to anybody listening. You look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and this guy's already at the very top of it. How old are you? You're so damn young, man.
I'm 27.
Yeah, man. This guy is crazy. I love it. I love it. I love to see people succeed all around me. That's just the way I live. But when you guys are so damn young, I just think, oh, man, if I had only started 10 years younger, man, where would I be today? You actually did it. You actually did it, man. So it's amazing. So, all right, we're coming to the close of resultsleader.fm. Any parting thoughts, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I always tell everybody, there's only one asset in this world that you can never have more of. Only one. And that one thing is time. Time is literally the most valuable thing in the world. When I was younger, I didn't recognize that. I would waste a lot of time. I would dilly-dag, I would talk to people. I would, walk slow, all those things. And once you come to realize the actual value of time, so figure out how much money you want to make. If you want to make $1 million a year, you take $1 million divided by 2,080, which is 40-hour work weeks, 52 hours a week, 52 weeks in a year. That's $480 per hour. So if you want to make $1 million a year, your time value is $480 per hour. So you got to think about when you're doing certain things, is that actually worth $480 an hour? Wasting time, partying, drinking, smoking, going out to eat, wasting time with your friends, playing video games. There's a lot of things that we all do in life that is a complete waste of time that does nothing for you. So when I realized the true value of time, my life started to change because I was way more productive because I spent my time doing things that actually made me money rather than just wasting it on things that didn't matter. So, one thing that I would say is understand the value of time and be very conscious of who you spend that with and what you do with that time.
Wait a second. I can't let you off the hook here. You opened up a can of worms there. Who you spend that time with? What are you talking about?
The people you surround yourself with, over my career, over my, like I said, I've been in the game for about 6 years. My circle of friends has changed a lot. So a lot of the people I used to kick with back in high school, we don't really talk anymore. And it's not bad blood. It wasn't fighting or anything. We just don't have the same wants in life. They'll call me to go out every single night, to go out and drink and party. And like, I want to grow, you know, I want to build something. I want to have the money. I want to have the freedom to give back and help others. So like I said, my circle has changed a lot. You know, the people you spend your time with is very, very important. You know, I spend a lot of money every single year to put myself in rooms of people that I want to emulate, people that are more successful than I am. Because if you surround yourself with those people, you'll eventually be that. There's that saying, you know, you are the net worth of the 5 people you hang around. So if your 5 friends are all millionaires, you're probably going to be the next millionaire. If your 5 best friends are bums and don't have a dollar to their name, it's going to be very difficult for you to have any level of success being surrounded by all that negativity.
Yes, sir. So, Austin, I know people are going to want to look you up. Where are the best? And we'll put links, obviously, in the show notes and all of that. But give us an idea of where to go to get more Austin.
For sure. So Instagram's big, Austin Rutherford official on Instagram, and then TikTok as well. Austin Rutherford on TikTok and YouTube, Austin Rutherford.
There you have it, man. Another results leader is in the can, Mr. Austin Rutherford. We will have links in the show notes so you can hook up with this guy, follow him, watch him, emulate him. And don't make any excuses either, because I already heard the objections. And what I think of is objection. Well, I can't afford to put myself in that room. I can't do that. Well, go to the damn library, pick up a book, listen to the podcast, follow this guy on TikTok and Instagram, and you're all out of excuses. So that is that for another results leader. Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for tuning in. That is a wrap for another edition of ResultsLeader.fm. If you are out there getting results for your clients and you want to be featured on the show, go to ResultsLeader.fm now and apply to be on the show. And if you love what you're hearing, share the show, give us a rating and review, do anything to help us get the message out there. Thought leadership is easy, but results leadership is hard.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.